The Commission loves the idea of what it calls a beneficial crisis. Every time something goes wrong, if there's a terrorist attack, we must have more European police. If there's an economic crisis, we must have more central control of member state economies. So they're driving forward their agenda of taking powers centrally, and this is a perfect example of it. They may have reasons for doing it, but the effect is that the democratically elected governments of member states no longer have control. Somebody said, the Prime Minister of Spain said, this is a victory for the euro, and if this is a victory for the euro, I hesitate to think what a defeat would look like. In fact, if you look back at the history of the crisis, at the beginning, a European bailout would quieten down the markets for months or at least weeks. Each new bailout lasts a shorter length of time. This one is absolutely classic. Yesterday morning, the markets responded very positively and advanced maybe 2%. By the end of the day, they were back down again because the markets realized that it won't really make a difference. The good news is the Commission has actually noticed that some European citizens are unhappy. It's taken them a long time, but they've finally noticed. It won't do any good, though. There are two key things you need to do to achieve growth, perhaps three things in Europe. Number one, you need lower taxes. Number two, you need to get rid of the terrible weight of business regulation that is holding back employment, holding back jobs and investment and growth. And the third thing, of course, is the whole issue of energy. We have chosen to make Europe the most expensive place to buy electricity in the world. America has cheap shale gas, China and India have cheap coal, we have expensive windmills. So we've given ourselves a huge disadvantage. The British people are very worried about the economic situation. I think we're much better off than we would have been if we'd chosen to join the euro currency, and we're all breathing a sigh of relief about that. And the other thing is that the crisis has taken Europe to the top of the agenda. People have always been, in Britain, always uncomfortable with the concept of Europe. Now they are profoundly unhappy with it. But in terms of our own economy, our government is failing to deliver the measures that are needed. And the measures that are needed in Britain are the same measures that are needed in the rest of Europe. We want to deregulate. Now, there's a limit to how much we can do that because we're controlled from Brussels to an extent. But we need to deregulate, we need to lower taxes, and there are ways to lower taxes without hitting revenues significantly. And we need also to look at our energy policy because in England too, in Britain too, our energy costs are rocketing through our own self-inflicted climate policies. Those are the things that are holding us back. Those need to be revisited.